My name is Icon, and welcome to part 3 of our Let's Play Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, featuring our Minotaur Monk of the Shining One. And the last part we did some lair clearing. We cleared a labyrinth, forgot a scroll of teleportation in there, and we've cleared an ice cave. Had a fierce battle with a frost giant, and in the end of all of this we faced the death of our internet connection. And yeah, we're back online, and the story continues on Lair 4. We're standing in front of the same wolves we quit our part 2. And yeah, let's slaughter these guys and proceed through Lair. So far, there's a lot of wolves this run. Maybe it's also because I faced so many wolves in the ice cave, but I feel like we faced some wolves in this game. Let's check our character dump. I'm a bit curious here. So that's 29 wolves so far. It's actually a pretty decent amount of wolves for Lair 4. But there were a lot in this ice vault. Most of them were there, I guess. So let's clear out Lair 4. And still I'm super anxious of any nasty uniques waiting here. But there's a black mamba, so the first one took a while to die, but this one was a bit more friendly to us. So that's Lair 4, proceeding down to Lair 5. Still no unique bosses at all in this lair run, which, well, is kinda rare. And it only means that, well, the worst could be still coming, so I'm proceeding carefully here. So can we ID something? It's a potion of brilliance. Huh. Actually, I'm gonna drop these for now. I'm not gonna pick up more of them, because they're only interesting if you're a spellcaster. And for now, we don't plan to engage on spellcasting at all. So, there's a bunch of death yaks and a spiny frog. The spiny frog moves faster than a player, so it catched up to us. And let's proceed through these death yaks slowly, one after the other. And we're taking quite some damage, but we can clear this pack with ease. There's another Komodo dragon, and we're taking some more damage, but we're okay with that. So there's a ghost. It's a fire elementalist ghost with some really nasty tricks up his sleeve. So, we could just summon a divine warrior and slaughter this guy. And I think that's the best shot to take, because it's a mage spirit. They can dish out a lot of damage, but they're pretty frail, usually. So, I don't know if it was a waste of piety, but it did make me feel safe, for some reason. Having an angel around always boosts your confidence. So, it's a cursed ring of dexterity here. Still, no real luck with rings, but that's okay. I'm only lacking fire resistance for now, which was the main reason why I was spooked from that ghost so much, because it was a fire mage. So there's a new potion of agility, and a new potion overall. Okay, there's a 6-headed hydra. Again, we're gonna put up the divine shield, just in case. Hydras, well, I always take them seriously. So that was a scroll of fear. Those are pretty useful from time to time. And there goes a potion of might, so this makes me feel a lot safer now. Because a potion of might basically increases your offensive qualities by a lot. You do a lot more damage in melee, you hit harder, you hit easier, and that's a bunch of sweet stuff if you're focusing on melee, and it's even sweet if you're just a caster. overall a very, very useful potion, this Potion of Might. So we're clearing through these yaks without taking any damage. And, well, when I found this flail and the plate armor, I was pretty sure Lair could be easy, because we have resist poison, we have a lot of damage. There's Dream Sheep. They can put me into sleep, and that's exactly what has happened here. They're closing into us, getting some free hits, but we're in our kill hole here, and now it's only one enemy chewing at us if we fall asleep. But we're still taking some damage. But only 25% of our total HP, that's nothing which would scare me at this point. But Dream Sheep can be really, really nasty if they're combined with some strong enemies, because the sleep effect of those Dream Sheep, you can't block it with magic resistance. They have some flat chance of making you fall asleep, no matter how magic resistant you are. And that's the reason why I take these sheep seriously. They replaced the old sheep, which had no special intrinsics at all in former versions of this game. So next Hydra, again putting up a Divine Shield, just to feel a bit safer, just not to get too many hits in the face, because I still don't own any heal wound potions or blinking scrolls, and if a fight goes really bad, I only can rely on my teleportation scrolls there, and they take a few turns to work. So another potion, which is a Potion of Heal Wounds, finally. Lair 5 of first Potion of Heal Wounds. It's really late for this potion. You sometimes find those on D1, you know? But you never know what happens in terms of loot. Okay, that's Lair 5. So, we have a horde of yaks swarming towards us and a large body of water, which probably tells us something about this lair ending, but maybe not. We're gonna switch to another staircase, and I don't want to be near this large body of water, not that near, because there are a lot of baddies here swarming at us, vampire mosquitoes, and this looks like it's a swampy ending, which features a lot of amphibian creatures and poisonous monsters and stuff like that. Okay, so we bring up some of those enemies upstairs where we can fight only 3 of them, and I'm gonna switch to the last unknown staircase here and take it carefully, because I guess there will be a lot of enemies in the middle of this area, and there is an ocelot plant surrounded by bushes. This means we can't just run in there and kill it. Ocelot plants have a very destructive ranged acid attack, and if you're not wielding resist corrosion or something reflective, I strongly advise to not fight an ocelot plant. It still can kill me if I'm unlucky. So you don't need to kill everything and crawl. So 7-headed Hydra, shield myself and kill it. I think I could kill those even without the shield by now, but well, better be safe than sorry. So there's another ocelot, an ocelot cluster guarding the entrance to the slime pit. We're gonna leave them for now, because 3 ocelots firing at you without resist corrosion, well, chances are I wouldn't even survive until my scroll of teleportation goes off, if I felt the urge to fight them, which I don't. So, lots of frogs, There's an electric eel. We one-shot him. Another blink frog. Another spiny frog. There's definitely a lot of frog on this floor. So we got it down. Another Komodo. Gonna let him come. And this was again about 30 points of damage alone from this Komodo. It's a lot, but I'm not wearing too much armor here. I mean, 20 AC is okay. It is heavy armor after all, but could be more. Still taking too much damage here from time to time for my taste, to feel really safe with the situation. But at least we're killing stuff pretty quickly. And for now I'm finishing the outer border of this map and saving the inner circle for the end, because I think that's where we're gonna fight some harder fights. So there's Nessos, a unique centaur with a longbow of flaming, which is really strong at this point. So he mited himself. That's especially dangerous, so I'm always trying to stand around corners to deny him as many shots as possible. So longbow of flaming is a really strong ranged weapon. Stronger than the sling I'm carrying around. And I think we're gonna swap again here into another ranged weapon, which can't be wielded with a shield, so I forgot that. Nope, let's stick to the sling for now. I mean, I don't use it, and probably not gonna use it at all, but from time to time I'm really happy to have ranged options. So that's a lot of Oclopes here, and there's Dream Sheep. Again, I retreat to a place where there can only be one enemy at a time. And there's a tyrant leech with 35 damage. It's a lot. Okay, looks like we've got the Dream Sheep down, and this is the point where I feel a lot safer here, because they can make me asleep even if they're not in front of me. And yeah, that's potentially a lot of damage, especially with scary stuff like these tyrant leeches, which are swarming from the center. But I feel pretty comfortable killing them, not taking too much damage here either. So I think we're pretty good at clearing this Lair ending with ease. So there's the yak from the starting of this floor, another tyrant leech. That makes 4 of them. More frogs, a basilisk. Let's hide around the corner, even if he has kinda like no chance of petrifying us. But even 1% can sometimes trigger. But, well, don't think that any spooky stuff will happen here anymore. I'm not auto-exploring this floor, because I don't want to stumble into this pool of evilness. But I feel like we have cleared the most of it, and there's the loot island, and the scroll of blinking. Okay, at least we got blinking identified now, and I'm gonna put down the auto pickup on all those rings, because I really don't need it. Book of Misfortune. Again, we're no spellcasters. And let's auto-explore a bit. 5-headed Hydra. Let's try it without the Divine Shield. I think we should be fine by now. Yeah. Absolutely no big deal. We're gonna leave those Oclops for now and return to dungeon. We're done with the lair. and hit the teleport trap. Starting to get hungry. Let's eat a jelly. Komodo dragon. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna proceed with dungeon 12 here, but there's Josephine. So Josephine is a necromancer which features a draining fireball, which is kinda unique. You don't face that on any other enemy. And for now, we're gonna kite her minions back up. She always comes with 3 wraiths. And she retreated for now, getting closer while playing with these slime creatures. Swapping over to Josephine now, killing her pretty easily. Well, she is one of those not too dangerous uniques. I mean, if you're low level and badly equipped, it can go wrong with her, but usually, as long as you can divide her from the wraiths, it's an easy fight. So there's a slime vault. Think we're gonna find some royal jelly in there, 10 of them. So we have a lot of permanent food with us. More than we're possibly gonna need for this game. So this is an 8-headed Hydra. It's a good chance to test out our combat skills, and we kill it without any problems, without divine help, which is good. So there comes a killer bee pack, and let's guide it into a narrow hallway, and proceed with the killing. So there's white, and where there's one white centaur, but we don't find any more whites. Usually they come in packs. So down to D13 we go. I was thinking about clearing D8, but then there's Psyche with her Dagger of Distortion, and that's a huge orc vault. So we're gonna kite around the corner so we have a little less priests in our line of sight and get smitten less. And if we proceed like that, it's gonna be easy. Only danger factor are those priests. If they can smite us too often here, it still can be a bit dangerous, but we got this. It's only orcs, no dangerous orcs with them, and no particularly interesting weaponry here, so we're seeing nothing special. Only one enchanted weapon, which won't beat our flail here. So there's more orcs, and the Mace of Protection, which isn't too interesting at all. Iguana, yak, vampire, mosquito. So that's really just some stuff we kill. Book of Earth. It's good spells. A really good spell book if you want to go for earth magic. But we're not going for magic here. So there's an Ifrit. We lack fire resistance, but no biggie. Pretty easy. A unique dagger. Not even gonna try it out. It could be one of those items which debuffs you if you try to take it off, and I'm not in the mood for something like that, and we're never ever gonna use a dagger at this point. It's just too inferior in terms of damage. Daggers are only useful if you're going for stealth, backstabbing, this stuff. Then you can use daggers. So there's this Catobal Pass, which features a petrifying cloud. Well, if you're standing in this cloud, you will get petrified like I do here. So we made a misstep, got encircled by those yaks, but we're starting to get a bit overconfident here. Let's be more careful. So this is the entrance to the vaults, with a lot of humans swarming towards us. But with our gear, they're more or less victims to our Minotaur. Still, they pack up a little bit of damage. There's a first vault guard. That's more of a serious enemy here, but not too much either. So there's a scroll of immolation. I don't think I'm gonna use those. Book of Battle, also a really good book. But for this run I think we're gonna skip the whole magic part. So there's a Ring of Wizardry. I said we're gonna skip the whole magic part. So we're gonna drop this ring. There's the entrance to the lair. You need to have at least one rune of Zod to enter this area of the game, which we didn't achieve yet, so... There's one potion of curing here. These glass thingies you can dig through, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. So there's a first ugly thing. Took a few blows, but did no damage to us. Ugly things feature very high base damage and should always be taken with some respect, because they move faster than a player, which means the moment you realize that they're dealing too much damage to fight them is the moment where you need to bring up some distance from them quickly, because they keep smacking you if you run. Nice stuff. Second potion of might. I really like to have a few of those over. And there's D14 now. We're still lacking some sort of good armor, and we didn't find any enchanted plate armor so far. Only enchanted lighter armors, but well, with a strength of 25 we should possibly try to get the heaviest armor we can find and enjoy the huge armor class bonus and the huge general damage reduction a heavy armor provides. So there's a first Tangoose. We didn't face Tangoose yet. This one is wielding a dire flail of holy wrath, and it's a conjurer. Tangoose feature some good evasion ratings and low hit points, so well, I think my Shining God Halo here, Shining 1 Halo here, debuffs their evasion decently, so I can hit them pretty easily. So there's a gadget shop. I think about buying this lightning rod. Phial of Floods always comes in handy. Maybe a wand of acid, I don't know yet. But we're gonna enter Orcish Mines soon. A Book of Callings, summonings, also very useful, but not for this run. We're gonna do this in another game. Basilisk. We already found out that basilisks are not dangerous at all for us, and maces and flails hit level 14 for us, and that's the point where I'm gonna put this off, because our flail here only needs a skill level of 14 to reach the minimum attack delay of 0.7 turns per attack, and we won't get much more success if we keep stacking up maces and flails at this point. We only need to learn it if we find a nicer flail which we want to use. But for now it would be a waste of skill points, so we're leveling some evocations instead. A vampire and a centaur warrior. Enemies are getting more dangerous as we get closer to the depths, which will be on dungeon 15. It's always on this floor, but we're managing here. Centaur warriors are, well, they have a lot more HP than a regular centaur. Hit a lot harder in ranged combat, so there's a quick blade, which would be also pretty nice if we were a short blade user. And there's a first Cyclops. They are really hard-hitting ranged giants. Xeron's pet rocks. So this is basically a rock and slingshot. Okay, funny stuff. Another gadget boutique, and we can replace our lightning rod with a cheaper one. That's nice. But apart from that, the wand of lightning looks a bit interesting, but we already got some tools at our disposal. I'm gonna drop this wand of flame though. You can produce sight obstructing steam clouds with it on water, but at this point that's the biggest use we're gonna have from this. And this is pretty dangerous. These melee are like killer bees, only as priests. They come with a smiting and a heal skill, but their HP are really low, so I think I'll just ice blast into my face here, taking not much damage from that, but killing one of those. And yeah, we're set. They always come with a hand axe also. Let's check out those scrolls. It's a scroll of vulnerability and a scroll of acquirement. So what are we gonna wishing now? We could go for armor or weaponry, but for now I'll stick to weapons because we need something bigger. We need some evening star or something like that. This could be really good. Evening stars are the heaviest and hardest hitting one-handed flails one can get. And it's an evening star of protection, which, well, it's not the best branding you could wish for if you're a damage dealer. But I'm gonna keep that. Sooner or later, I hope to grab a scroll of brand weapon and potentially put something useful on it. But we can finish the game with an evening star with a decent brand on it. It's definitely strong enough to finish the game with it. So I'm pretty happy I've got it from the scroll of acquirement. If we run into another scroll of acquirement, I definitely would go for a armor next time. So D15, we're facing our first deep elf enemies and a lot of slime creatures, and so these slime creatures tend to combine into each other and get bigger, and we're going upstairs. I've already lost over half of my HP here, and the Deep Elf Knight was hasted and potentially hurting us a lot. Okay. So Deep Elves definitely hurt us a bit more than they should, I think. We're definitely lacking some good armor items at this point of the game. We still have no boots. There's some boots on D10. I think I'm gonna finish up D15 and then go for some shopping spree from the items we already know. Or proceed to Orcish Mines and see if there will be some better shopping options. Because Orcish Mines always features some shops at the lower level. Or, I don't know if there's any ending of Orcish Mines without any shops. Don't know. And seems like we're looking at a very huge vault, which brings me to the point that I wanna magic map this affair, and yeah, this scenario here looks pretty dangerous to me. The start of this vault is here, and potentially it's filled with baddies of all sorts, so don't know if I want to open these doors yet. Or skip this until I have the Orcish Mines done. Some empty archways. I was hoping for some more shops when I saw this cluster, but nope. There goes a wizard, which has only a 2% chance of some really ugly stuff with us. The lightning bolt smacked for 30 damage though. The main danger from wizards are, for one, their ability to potentially banish you into the abyss, and for two, their potential ability to cast Lehudip's Crystal Spear, which deals irresistible damage if it hits you. And it can hit for up to 70 damage or something like that, which is really too much. So this centaur pack is scaring me a bit, so I'm gonna kite them around the corner, force them into melee. I'm always a bit more careful if there's a warrior with them. So we got barbed by this manticore, so we need to wait until it gets up close if we don't want to get damage from those barbs. But if you wait a few turns, it always wears off. So yeah, I'm gonna go for orcish mines here. If you put up the number 0, you will go on the stairs to this branch, rather than entering it ill-prepared. So we're facing some random enemies here on our way back up. So there's this white from the last time I was wandering, and there's the other whites. But yeah, no big deal here at all. So let's go to the orcish mines and see what we can do here, what we can find here. Definitely gonna find some orcs, that's for sure. And there's a player ghost, which is a human berserker of Trog. 29 damage, a lot of AC, but 77 HP, and this is potentially gonna be a very easy fight. Yeah, it's only 2% of our HP to the next level, so this dude was also not very strong. So there goes Fanar. I'm gonna put up my protection from cold ring and break the line of sight with this orc priest, which kind of like spooks me in this kind of scenario. Well, let's put him down. Fanar almost does no damage to us, but I'm not surprised because we have resistance from cold, and yeah. So there's goes a ring of See Invisible. We don't need this yet, so we're gonna drop it for now, because we can see invisible from a weapon. But if we ever need to swap that weapon, I think I'm gonna pick up this ring. So there's a first orc high priest. They can summon demons. That's why I'm gonna stand around this corner for now. Swap over here, so there go the first demons. We just keep focusing the high priest for now, because his demons will disappear as soon as he's dead. And these situations are pretty easy as long as you can reach the high priest directly. Things get ugly if they can stand in the back line and smite you, summon demons on you, and all this ugly stuff. So that's the first floor, and there's only one downstairs, which means down here in Arc 2 gonna be 2 more upstairs leading to unexplored areas of Arc 1. So we can kill these even surrounded by them. We're that strong now. Hope we're getting some good plate armor down here. Orc 2 is always a nice place to find some good plate armor, because you will sooner or later face at least an orcish knight or even an orcish warlord, and they tend to have some good plate armor with them. Probably something enchanted or something like that, if I'm lucky. So this layout of the orcish mines features a lot of rooms filled with orcs, and there's gonna be one big room where the shops of this level are located, and it's probably gonna be filled with some high tier orcs, maybe Saint Roka. So there's one of those unexplored staircases upstairs, and yeah, we can finish fights with 2 priests hanging around without any problems here. So there's a shiny chainmail. So probably a keeper, but I'm still aiming for a plate armor. So we got some gold here. And going back there. So there's still one more staircase missing upstairs. Not auto-exploring here again, because on auto-explorer you can open up doors you don't want to open. On auto-explorer I would probably enter the final vault and stumble into there. And I don't want to make this happen without preparations of sorts. So we're just burning down the houses and clearing this floor pretty easily again. Let's charge through, and there's an Aten. That's dangerous. Atens are the evil brothers of the ogres, and they can do 45 damage twice, plus the damage of the dire flail. So 2 perfect hits would destroy even me to a decent amount, to a decent point, whatever. So we killed him pretty carefully. He didn't even land a single blow. That's because their weaponry is really heavy and they lack the skills to strike quickly, luckily. But they can always do surprising amounts of damage if you stop taking them seriously. So there's a first orcish sorcerer. They feature demon summoning and pretty high level bolt spells and paralyze. But again, the paralyze is nothing I'm too afraid of here. Already stacked too much magic resistance. Which is why I'm really confident with clearing the orcish mines like that. The only really dangerous thing we could meet here would be demons summoned by sorcerers or high priests. So there's this unique amulet, but I'm not gonna buy it right now, just because there might be other good stuff in other shops here, so we're gonna wait until we spend our money, until we have uncovered this whole floor. Then we're gonna spend some money. So ancient armor, ID, just putting those in the shopping list so I can find them more easy. When I hit the $sign, we can see all the items I've marked. So there's Rupert, and he's already berserking. I'm gonna teleport right away, because I don't feel like fighting a berserked Rupert. I would prefer to start this fight if he's not berserk. So looks like this is potentially the final vault. It's definitely the biggest room so far we found. So there's a huge pack of orcs. We killed the priest. And so far our regeneration heals that little damage they do pretty quickly. So let's check if Rupert is still around here somewhere. So there he goes. I think I'm gonna check him out first. So there's a 5% chance to paralyze or confuse me. It's not too much. Just gonna put up the holy shield and start carefully whacking at him. So now he goes berserk, but he went berserk after I took like 80% of his hit points, and that's the point where it's okay for me if he goes berserk. If he starts this combat berserked, well, it's worth a teleportation scroll at this point, I think. Let's clear this next orc housing. We're really doing short work with these. So there's a food shop. Potentially never gonna use it on this run, because I'm really good at not using much food, because I'm no spellcaster. So there's this last vault. We open up the doors and step aside around this corner and kill the orcs spilling out of this door for now. So there's the orc warlord. He's only got a chainmail. That's a bit sad. So we're gonna put up this divine shield again, and yeah, we pretty much destroyed him, but he put might on all his buddies before he died. But, well, we're cleaving through this pretty easily, so there's still a lot of orc. Although I think we can clear this without any problems. Just gonna let him come, kill the priests as soon as possible. I think there's gonna be at least 1 or 2 more high priests in there, and maybe some more sorcerers. Don't know yet. So shiny chainmail again. The best thing to show up here. So regular priests, and there's a high priest. And he already summoned a bunch of demons, and we took some damage, but not too much. Was a bit reckless, but it was the last one. So there's this big ass demon blade, but that's no weapon for us. A glowing triple crossbow, which can't be used with a shield though. And on the other side we have this armor shop, and okay, so this item will enhance potions. It's interesting. There's a hat. We definitely want to have this hat, because as a Minotaur you can't wear helmets because of the horns, but you can wear hats. We're also gonna pick up the gloves. It's just a basic +1 pair of gloves. Nothing special to it. The hat of magic resistance. We're almost at full magic resistance here, which is pretty much magic resistance for orcish minds too. So we're gonna pick up this amulet and see what it can do for us. Gonna identify it though. So it's an amulet of faith and resist negative energy. We're not gonna need this, and I just realized we're not gonna need this ring either, because as a follower of the Shining One you get the resistance from negative energy for free. So this is definitely no item we need. So there's this last staircase I wanted to try out. Totally forgot about it, but the auto travel sent me there. Friendly auto travel. Ooh, that's Warwick's of Distortion. That one time when I don't look at the branded item of my enemy. Distortion branded weapons just teleport you randomly if they hit you. That's pretty harmless. It's annoying, but it's pretty harmless. But there's some 4% chance or something like that these weapons can banish you into the abyss if they hit you. And that's where stuff gets ugly. That's why I'm always a bit nervous when a distortion branded weapon shows up. So we're gonna dig through this, create a shortcut, and I want to have this jade ring. We've saved our money long enough. So we have a ring of protection from fire now. And I think I'm gonna replace this with the ring of strength, because these 3 points of strength don't do much for us. So we still have those boots on our shopping list, and it's an expensive pair of boots actually. but I'm gonna pick these up. Probably way too much gold for such a mediocre item, but I want to have all my inventory armor slots equipped here. So I guess I'm gonna go upstairs and get rid of D8, because by now we can kill Joseph pretty easily. He had a quarterstaff of protection, which makes him really hard to kill. So I'm gonna be careful with Psyche around here, and chances are I'm just gonna wand her with my Ice Blast. Our evocations is at 3.8 by now, which is an okay rating. So there's Psyche. Let's Ice Blast her right away. So she's hasted now. Let's see if we can confuse her. I really want to put her into confusion before I kill her. She got in one hit with the distortion dagger, but nothing too concerning there happened. There's a Rendart. Ring mail. Let's ID it. Let's see what it can do. Nothing too special. More MR. So this one of Ice Blast is empty. I just wanted to use it until it's empty. So the two-headed ogres here. There's Maurice. It's a lot of uniques on this floor. Let's try to confuse him as well. That worked with a 57% chance. Maurice can steal items from you, and if you don't kill him you won't get your items back, which is kinda annoying but not too dangerous. Okay, so we're done here. I'm gonna head back to dungeon 15 here, and let's stick our head into this vault. I want to know what's in there, if we can clear it. So there's some altars and some water. Tengu Conjurer, that's okay. And I totally forgot that there was a large shield lying around on D2 on Arc 2. So we have a Hydra and a Deep Elf Mage, but we're getting here. Our thing's pretty good done. So there's a Manticore and a Fire Drake. We're wearing fire resistance by now, so the dragon, it's not a drake, it's a dragon. The dragon is not too dangerous. A Boggart. They're really nasty summoners, which turn invisible. If you lack the ability to see invisible, they can be really obnoxious. Or first, Ogre Mage. And that's the problem about these. They also have the Crystal Spear, which can potentially deal up to 70 damage. So Ogre Mages are... take them serious. They can deal much more damage than one might think. So there's a Wand of Lightning. I think I'm gonna keep that as well. Frost Giant, a Bullfrog, and an Unseen Horror. Gonna focus this Frost Giant. And this time we took a lot of damage. Let's kite this around the corner and regenerate up before we proceed. I've expected this area to bring some more nasties. This looks like a giant vault, but this also means that potentially there are some good items hidden in there. And so far this Frost Giant was the most dangerous thing we've met in here. And there's an ugly thing. So we took a bit damage, but not too much. Vampire and a Total-Pass. This is getting a bit ugly here. Sorry. So we got the vampire down, and we got the Catoblepass down. I already died to Catoblepass because I got petrified next to something really dangerous. So there's a shock serpent, but it's in fact a shapeshifter, changed into an ogre, which was a bad decision because ogres are way easier to kill than a shock serpent is. So there's giant double trouble here, and I'm gonna put up some double resistance and drop some magic resistance for now. We're gonna put up the divine shield as well and start fighting these giants. So there's a Sphinx, which means I wanna swap back to magic resistance here. Sphinxes can slow, confuse, and paralyze you, and smite. So that can be pretty dangerous at times too, if your magic resistance is bad, that is. So there's a Deep Troll Earth Mage. They're only dangerous if you're a construct. Wyvern, Harpy, and looks like we've made it to the big loot stash here at the end. So there's a Runed Scarf. It's a Scarf of Cloud Immunity. This is pretty useful because you get immune to all those fire clouds, ice clouds, and everything like that. But I do like the huge magic resistance we put up here a bit more. So we have 2 rings to try out. It's a +1 ring of protection, whole +1, and a ring of poison resistance. It's also nice that we know where we can find poison resistance, but as long as we're wearing that mace, we're not gonna use this and drop those 2 rings. Scroll of Summoning, I'm really happy I have a new one. A Wand of Random Effects, that's something the Shining One doesn't approve. Another Wand of Lightning, which I dropped immediately because 1 Wand of Lightning is enough. Another ring, let's try it out. Cursed Ring of Magical Power. Also nothing I want to keep. Let's drop this. And there's another amulet. We've got some spare ID. Amulet of Rage. I don't think I want to invest that much into evocations to make it usable, because for an Amulet of Rage you need something like 12 or 14 points of evocations, which is a huge investment. Hungry Ghost, Acid Drake. Yeah, that's getting more harmless here. Hornets, they can slow you. A Rakshasa. Rakshasa are pretty annoying enemies because they can put up copies from everything there in their line of sight. For now he just made a few copies of himself. Then you can't discern which one's the real one and which one is a clone. So there's a first stone giant. They're like the more dangerous version of a Cyclops, featuring a lot more HP and a similar brutal ranged attack and a good melee attack. Take them seriously. Stone giants are really dangerous. They're like, along with fire and frost giants, the first really dangerous type of giant you can meet. I think the Attins count into this as well. So there's this Deep Elf Mage spawning a lot of summons here, but we got him down. There's a Kobold Demonologist, also pretty easy to kill. And we're almost done with this vault here. It's the last room. Wow, for the last room it's filled with a lot of baddies here. So there's a Mana Viper, Floating Eye. Floating Eyes are really nasty. They can paralyze you regardless of your magic resistance, and again, that's a really scary thing to happen. So there's a unique short sword, which Probably could be a good item, but not for me. Unidentified scroll. It's a scroll of holy word. And I think we should be through the most scrolls. So the next unid scroll we find would be either brand weapon or silence. And the next unidentified potion we find will absolutely be a potion of experience. So, we're done with dungeon here. We're also done with Lair. We're also done with orcish mines. Which means we should go for a first rune here, which would be either swamp or snake pit. And for now I think we're gonna stick with the swamp, because that's a bit easier to clear out compared with the snake pit, which features a lot of high HP enemies and some nasty surprises. And yeah, I think we're gonna call it an episode for now. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you're gonna join for part 4 of the adventures of our Minotaur Monk here. And yeah, thanks for your time, and see you soon, guys.